there during the winter months, but with colder temperatures and icy surfaces, it can be a sure way to get injured.
Right now, Lauren is live and local at Joint Chiropractic with tips to keep your body safe this winter. Lauren?
Good morning. That's right. Whether you're shoveling snow or hitting the slopes, we have got the tips for you, the prescription to keep you safe this winter. I am with Dr. Drew here at the Joint Chiropractic. And warm-ups. You think about warming up before you go work out, but when you're going to shovel snow or you're going to go skiing, that's the last thing that crosses my mind is to warm up.
Correct.
Very important though.
It is very important. About 5–10 minutes of activity to get a nice little gleam of sweat going and raise the heart rate up.
Right, even if it's just walking on your treadmill inside, doing jumping jacks, squats.
Jump rope, anything that works that'll engage the cardiovascular system.
Right, definitely. And the type of stretching needs to be cardiovascular. It doesn't need to be like a static stretch where you're holding it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, more like calisthenics back in the old days with gym class. It's kind of what you should do pre-workout activity.
Definitely. And then we have some general tips to keep you safe. First thing you think about, people are always on their cell phones. You're in the grocery store, you're going out to walk to your car, it's a little bit icy, pay attention.
Correct. Always
get off the phone.
You want to check around your surroundings, make sure your footing's good and there's no slippery stuff on the ground.
Right, and then we were talking earlier too, if you are shoveling snow or you're just going out to ski for the whole day, pacing yourself. Very important.
You want to take frequent breaks and hydrate. Absolutely.
Yes. And then layers.
Layers, very light layer clothing, like if you're going skiing.
Right. People told me when I moved to Colorado, first thing, you need to get a lot of layers because, and especially here, because the weather changes so drastically, especially when the sun's out.
Right, and so if the hotter you get, you may want to take off a layer or add a layer on depending if you're cooling down.
Right. Now, I know it's hard to think about when you are mid-fall, but you know the fall's coming or you're mid-fall. Where do you want to try and land?
Well, if I look at the human frame, I would probably try to use one of my appendages, my hands, as opposed to my hip or my head.
Right, yeah, because I don't want a concussion and I definitely don't want to break a hip.
Exactly.
This can heal a lot faster.
I would think.
You would hope so. But we don't recommend falling, and that brings me to another point. Make sure you get really good shoes.
Absolutely. You want good traction or utilize some sand or salt on the ground before you actually do any activity.
Right. Lucky enough for me, I live in an apartment, so I don't have to shovel snow, but hopefully that continues. Hopefully one day when I retire I'll move to a warmer climate too and I won't have to shovel snow. But for those of you who do have to shovel snow, coming up next we're going to show you the proper technique when it comes to shoveling snow, because there is a proper technique, believe it or not. Back to you guys.
Good stuff to know that, and I can't stand shoveling snow. It's the worst. I hate it. It's the worst.
I'm with her. I live in an apartment. Never done it.
No.
Prepare yourself before you brave the winter weather.
Yes, and right now Lauren is live and local at Joint Chiropractic talking about how to prepare your joints and muscles to keep you injury-free. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning to you. That's right. There is no need to strain and sprain over the snow this winter season because Dr. Drew, he has got ways to keep you injury-free when it comes to shoveling snow here at the Joint Chiropractic. Now, one of the most common causes of back injury is shoveling snow in the winter.
Correct. Yeah, they say 30% is back injuries.
Right, right. But you do have some tips for us.
I do have some tips.
There's a proper way and an improper way to shovel.
There's a mechanically correct way to lift and there's not. And so if you're lifting snow, typically you can get a shovel, plastic versus metal because of the weight of the shovel. A full blade of snow can be 20 pounds. You can also get an ergo kind of handle on it so that you're holding here and you don't have to bend as far. But if you are lifting, it's typically you want to keep your hand close to the blade as possible, a shoulder width staggered stance through here, push the snow, lift with the knees bent, back straight, up with the blade in the snow close to you. Don't throw the snow, don't twist with the snow, but walk and dump.
Walk and dump it. You think about an athletic stance, that's really what you're doing. Snow shoveling is a workout.
Correct. It's like squatting.
Yeah, exactly. And you can make it a full body workout. You just go shovel yours, then you go shovel your neighbor's.
Actually, if you wanted to do that, then I would probably suggest getting passed with a medical exam before you go to that type of activity.
Right, definitely. And then earlier we talked about the position, take breaks
Correct.
In between.
Correct. Breaks in between. You want to coach yourself in proper posture technique prior to doing any activity, and that's a shoulder width stance, slight bend in the knees, belly in, blades back, palms up, that's lift, head position, ears over your inseam, hold for 5 to 10 count, and then back to work. And practicing that through the day will give you the idea of how to line the body up correctly.
Right, whether even if you just have a desk job, you're sitting at your job,
Exactly.
you said you can do the same thing there. Very important though, before all the snow comes, to sand and salt your driveway, guys. That way you don't slip and fall when you're headed out there to shovel. And then obviously also you want to use a snow blower if that's an option.
Or a snow service, correct.
Yes, exactly. All right, guys, we've got all the tips to keep you injury-free. Coming up a little bit later, we're gonna recap it all, and we're gonna show you more ways to stay safe during this snowy season, because I'm sure the snow's coming back. They're trying to trick me now, thinking this nice weather is gonna stay for a while, but I'm prepared. I know it's coming back.
Yeah, the old walk and dump technique. Lauren, thank you so
Now
much.
we know.
Or what I do, use the
Yes.
kid next door, pay him $5. He'll do the entire house.
That's cheating.
Yeah, well,
Do you stretch before shoveling snow out of your driveway? Do you stretch before shoveling snow out of your driveway? It's not as silly as it sounds.
yeah, joint and muscle injuries rise during these winter months, but no worries. Right now, Lauren is live and local at Joint Chiropractic with tips from the experts to keep you injury-free this winter. Lauren, how you feeling? Good morning.
You know what, Craig? I have fallen and I can't get back up. That's the thing that has been coming to my mind all morning. Do you guys remember that commercial? It was from a long time ago. It's still a staple for sure, though. So we're talking about injuries now. If you've already fallen from shoveling snow, skiing, you're out on the slopes, you know, what do you need to do if you start feeling pain, Dr. Drew?
Well, if you're feeling pain, typically as soon as you can get to the appropriate people is paramount. So any kind of emergency or urgent care, if that's the case. But it's usually ice and rice. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. Take the inflammation down.
That. I was thinking you were actually talking about real rice.
Right. No, that's the actual the way it goes.
Right, and you don't recommend trying to do it on your own, trying to pop and...
No, nothing like that. Any sudden movement could actually make the matter worse. So you have to be very careful when you get in that situation. But it's before the situation that's the important part, where a chiropractor could help out before you even get to that point.
Right. Now let me tell you guys, I have never been to a chiropractor before until this morning. I just got adjusted. It's not that I'm against it, it's not that I'm for it, I just have never had the opportunity to go. And just a little while ago, Dr. Drew gave me an adjustment. Incredible, like blew my mind. So kind of walk through the process, the steps we took, and like the tongue thing where you put it on one side,
right.
That was crazy to me.
Typically for a chiropractor, anybody that's working with body mechanics, we have to evaluate where you are in space and how you hold your body up. For your case, your head was a little tilted to one side, so you weren't kind of lining up with the horizon, and it was putting a little bit more pressure on your hips and throwing your foot off.
Right.
So we adjusted those areas to kind of correct for that length, but now we can actually finish up with the one check we haven't done yet. We've checked it, but we haven't released the mid-back.
Right, definitely, and that's where this comes in?
And that's where this comes in.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is walk over to the wall,
All right.
back against the wall, a little different because we're going to use gravity to our advantage. Fingers interlace behind the neck and a little tuck.
Okay.
We take this wedge and we're going to put it behind the back, along the spine, and we're going to lift the patient, Lauren, up. And there we go.
Very
All set.
nice. Very nice. And let me just tell you, Dr. Drew adjusted my neck. It sounded like fireworks were going off.
Well, now you've got a whole new vision on life.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the fireworks are going off. I feel like I see a beautiful view of really crazy stuff. Really crazy stuff. Very, very cool, though. Coming up, we're going to recap all of the precautions to take for when you're outside doing those winter activities. So you guys are going to want to stick around for that.
Good stuff. And Lauren, you feel good now? You feel better?
I feel like $1 million.
You look
right.
like $1 million.
$1,001,000, actually.
Then shovel my driveway. Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I will do it. I'll do it.
Awesome. I'll call you. Thank you. All right, good stuff.
Well, it's always great to get outside for some fresh, crisp air during the winter months, but with colder temperatures and icy surfaces, it can sure be a way to get injured.
That's not so fun.
No.
Yeah, Lauren is live and local right now with Joint Chiropractic with tips to keep your body safe this winter. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, from whether you're hitting the slopes or you're shoveling your driveway, there are definitely precautions that you can take to make sure you don't get injured this winter during the cold months. I'm with Dr. Drew here at the Joint Chiropractic. Just some general rules of thumb that we're going over to make sure that you don't get injured. We talked earlier, you're at the grocery store, you're walking to your car, it might be a little bit icy. Get off a cell phone.
Correct. Be observant, pay attention to surroundings, look for slick spots. and avoid those.
Definitely. And then when you are shoveling snow or you're skiing or snowboarding, pacing yourself, very important.
Yeah, intervals, break your time up at 5-10 minute intervals, and then also hydrate, because in the wintertime it's just as important as the summertime to make sure you're getting good water in.
Right, and we talked about that position.
Positioning,
Right.
balance, make sure belly and blades back, head position, always use that as a prop through the day.
Yes, and that's part of the break. that you
Exactly.
take. Okay, and then layers when you are shoveling snow. Layers, 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 that's all you hear when you move to Colorado.
Correct. Yeah,
Very
light
important.
layers, and if you're getting cold, you put more layers on. You're getting warmer, you take them off.
Right. Now, if you are falling, if you feel the fall coming, if you're in the middle of the fall, you want to try to land on the wrist?
Well, what I would do is protect the areas you don't want to fall on, which is your head and your hip. Those are bigger areas to fracture. So typically you're going to want to put your arm out to grab and try to fall in the softest place possible.
Definitely. And then we talk about you're shoveling snow all day long. You want to stretch after.
Correct. That's the time to stretch. In the beginning, you want to get the body ready for the activity. Afterwards, it's time to stretch. The body's warm, and at that stage, you could probably do any kind of stretch for 30-second plus hold patterns, not bouncing, static holds.
Just make sure you're not going to go plop on the couch and just be in a position that's
Correct. You want to cool down correctly and make sure the body and the spine is in a good position.
Definitely. All right, Craig, I got to tell you, we were going over the going rate. You know, I am not a big-time snow shoveler, but I said 55 an hour would probably be my going rate. Dr. Drew here, he says I need to hike it up. He says it's more like 150 depending on the grade of the driveway and stuff. So we can talk, we can figure it out. Yeah, that's what I said, but this guy knows.
It's important. Spine, right? You got to protect yourself.
Exactly.
We're like Trump in Mexico here. Just let's forget the meeting, okay? It's not worth talking about, okay? It's too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thanks, Lauren.
Know how to prepare yourself before you brave the winter weather, right, Craig?
That's right. And right now, Lauren is live and local at Joint Chiropractic talking about prepping your joints and muscles to keep you injury-free this winter. Lauren?
That's right. From hitting the slopes to shoveling the snow in your driveway, we are keeping you injury-free. We have the prescription this morning, and really it's all about warming up your muscles and knowing the right way to shovel that snow or to ski down that ski slope. I'm with Dr. Drew, and he has given us all these tips. Now, when it comes to shoveling snow, I think probably the most important thing is to be proactive, and by that we mean putting salt and sand on that driveway.
Correct. Yeah, you want good traction, obviously.
Definitely. Now, there is a proper way to shovel snow.
Yes.
Now, I'm just going to show you how I would typically do it.
Okay.
Okay, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? So you're down, and you're just going to shovel
Shovel there. Okay,
Yes.
couple things. All right. First off, we want to, if we can push the snow, we want to do that above lifting.
So, wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
wrong. And no twisting allowed,
Okay.
ever.
Okay.
All right, so what we want to do is make sure, gripping the handle, this hand closer to the blade, you want to bend at the knees,
Okay.
straight back, okay? Drop down, stagger, and then bring the blade into the snow, and then keep, when you're lifting up, bring the snow back to you,
Got
and then
it.
lift up close, and then dump the snow instead of throw the snow.
You're kind of just dropping it.
Exactly. You can also put silicone or vegetable oil on the blade, and that'll allow the snow to easily slip out.
Oh, very good
And
tip.
the one thing I would like to point out is if we're looking at wear and materials, everything is all right, probably a little warmer upstairs, you need another coat.
Right.
But your boots with the heels,
Yes.
not going to cut it.
Yeah, but I want to point out that I am shoveling in heels, so
Yes.
that is pretty cool. It sounds cool. It's just not going to be cool for your joints.
Exactly.
Which typically I wouldn't have these boots on.
Correct.
Now, an ergonomic shovel.
Ergonomic shovel. An ergonomic shovel basically just takes the actual handle and it bows it out towards you so you don't have to bend over so much to make contact with the snow. So this one, if I grab it, I'm actually going to have to drop my knees down lower to get to the snow.
Right.
But an ergo shovel, I'd be here so I don't have to bend as much, so not as much pressure on my back.
Definitely. And then stretching before and after, very important.
Yes, so warm up beforehand and then afterwards definitely is the time to stretch the muscles, correct.
Right. And obviously, if you do have a snow blower,
Use it.
use it.
Correct.
Yes, there's no need to put all that stress on your body if you want to. But hey, you know what? It's a great workout. Guys, remember all the fitness segments that we did in January for New Year, New You? I should have done one on snow shoveling.
Correct, yeah, I mean it's a workout.
I mean, it totally is. You can do a whole neighborhood and burn probably thousands of calories, I'm sure.
I think so.
Definitely. All right, back
Whole
to you guys.
neighborhood. Lauren, wow, they must love you.
Ambitious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right.